Denver's skyline echoed the secrets buried within its digital underbelly. I, known only as Shade, navigated the labyrinth of code, a phantom in the vast expanse of the cyber realm. In the flickering glow of computer screens, my fingers danced across the keyboard, orchestrating a symphony of algorithms that sought to expose the corruption festering in the dark corners of society. Born from the ashes of a personal tragedy, my quest for justice became a vendetta against drug cartels that plagued our world. The last echoes of my real name faded, replaced by the enigma that was Shade, a ghost in the machine, a relentless force against those who thrived in the shadows. Over time, my digital exploits accumulated, weaving a tapestry of retribution. A masterful hacker, I drained over $100 million from cartel coffers, leaving behind a trail of chaos and accountability. The conviction of politicians, police officers, and soldiers became my calling card, all orchestrated from the shadows where I dwelled. Yet the shadows grew darker as the cartels fought back. Hired trackers, relentless in their pursuit, edged closer to unmasking the elusive Shade. Sensing the encroaching threat, I decided to disappear, to become a cipher fading into the abyss. The plan unfolded in the heart of Denver, where I orchestrated a vanishing act that would rival any illusionist performance. A once-standing building became a pyre, consuming the remnants of my former life. The flames flickered in rhythm with my heartbeat as I left behind a life that was, and embraced the uncertainty of what would be. As the embers of my past smoldered, a new identity awaited, a rebirth in the quiet town of Crestwood. I shed the name Shade, becoming Alex Turner, a mere truck driver traversing the winding roads of a seemingly tranquil existence. The lumber mill in Crestwood became my refuge, where the hum of machinery drowned out the echoes of my haunted past. Little did Crestwood know that beneath the facade of routine, a phantom stirred. The ghost of Denver, now clad in the guise of Alex Turner, plotting a new course through the shadows, waiting for the next chapter to unfold. The scent of pine permeated the air as Crestwood's towering trees embraced me, their rustling leaves whispering secrets only I understood. Alex Turner, the truck driver, now seemed a world away from the digital maelstrom of Shade. My secluded dwelling nestled amid the woods became a fortress against the encroaching shadows. As the embers of my past life flickered out in Denver, a ghostly silence settled over my new abode. Crestwood, a haven of tranquility, shielded me from the prying eyes that once sought Shade. The lumber mill provided a cloak of normalcy, its rhythmic machinery obscuring the symphony of keystrokes that once echoed in the digital realm. Within the walls of my newfound refuge, a sense of isolation prevailed. The basement, once a sanctuary of code and covert operations, transformed into a storage space, the remnants of my past packed away like artifacts of a bygone era. It was here, surrounded by echoes of my own footsteps, that I found solace in the obscurity I craved. The world beyond my secluded dwelling continued its relentless march, oblivious to the enigma that had chosen to fade into the abyss. I observed Crestwood's mundane routine, a rhythm dictated by the rising sun and the gentle lull of its people's lives. A truck driver by day, a phantom by night, such was the duality I now embraced. As I navigated the winding roads of Crestwood, my eyes scanned the horizon for any signs of pursuit. Paranoia lingered, a constant reminder of the relentless trackers who once believed they were closing in on Shade. Yet with each passing day, the threat seemed to wane, and the allure of normalcy beckoned. The flickering glow of my computer screen cast an ethereal light in the evenings. In the quiet solitude of my dwelling, I allowed myself to glance back at the digital tapestry I had woven, a mosaic of convictions, disappearances, and stolen millions. But as the embers of my past work faded, so did the incessant hum of the cyber world that once consumed me. Crestwood, with its dense forests and secluded tranquility, offered a reprieve from the relentless pursuit. The abyss into which I faded became a sanctuary, shielding me from the relentless scrutiny of those who sought Shade. In the quiet of Crestwood's embrace, I awaited the whispers of the shadows, uncertain of when they would beckon me back into the abyss. Crestwood, a tranquil haven, cradled me in the embrace of towering pines and the rhythmic hum of the lumber mill. As Alex Turner, the truck driver, I found refuge in the simplicity of the town's routines. The daily grind at the mill became a sanctuary, each creak of machinery drowning out the echoes of my clandestine past. In the heart of Crestwood, I worked diligently, blending seamlessly into the tapestry of the town's blue-collar life. The camaraderie among the lumberyard workers, the scent of freshly cut wood, and the call of distant birds all contributed to the illusion of an uneventful existence. Little did they know that beneath the guise of a truck driver, a phantom lingered, awaiting the inevitable reckoning. Within the mill's confines, I found purpose in the physicality of the work. The whir of saws and the thud of falling timber grounded me in the present, a stark contrast to the digital landscapes I once navigated. Each load I transported carried with it a semblance of normalcy, concealing the enigma of Alex Turner that lingered beneath the surface. The people of Crestwood, with their friendly nods and casual conversations, unknowingly became my protectors. As I maneuvered the labyrinth of the mill, I wondered if this sanctuary could truly shield me from the shadows that lurked in the periphery. Nights in Crestwood were a symphony of crickets and rustling leaves, a stark contrast to the city's artificial glow. Within the confines of my dwelling, I would steal moments to reflect on the dichotomy of my existence. The digital phantom of shade, once a menace in the cyber realm, now found solace in the humdrum life of Alex Turner. Yet, as the days melted into nights, a nagging restlessness gnawed at my newfound peace. The shadows of my past cast long silhouettes on the walls, and the rhythmic hum of the lumber mill became a backdrop to the distant echoes of my former life. The sanctuary of Crestwood, it seemed, could not entirely erase the reckoning that loomed in the shadows. In the quietude of my dwelling, surrounded by the scent of pine and the echoes of the mill, I grappled with the paradox of my existence. Crestwood, with its tranquil facade, held within it the potential for revelation, a reckoning that awaited, ready to unveil the phantom that lurked beneath the surface of Alex Turner's seemingly ordinary life. Amidst the quietude of Crestwood, a storm brewed beneath the surface of my seemingly tranquil life. Emma, the woman I had come to love, was a tempest harboring secrets that threatened to shatter the illusion of normalcy. A new chapter unfolded as I navigated the labyrinth of emotions, unaware of the illusions that had woven themselves into the fabric of my existence. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an amber glow over the town, Emma and I sat on the porch of our modest home. The scent of pine lingered in the air as we shared moments of comfortable silence, the rhythmic creaking of the rocking chair beneath me mirroring the lull of our ordinary life. "Alex, darling," Emma said, her voice soft, "have you ever wondered how life could change in an instant?" I glanced at her, my emerald-eyed wife, and chuckled. "Well, life's full of surprises. What's on your mind?" She hesitated, her gaze momentarily fixated on the horizon. "I've been thinking about our future, about the possibilities that lie ahead." Little did I know, within the recesses of Emma's mind, these words held a double meaning, a harbinger of the illusions she had woven. Days turned into weeks, and Emma's behavior grew increasingly peculiar. Late nights spent on her phone, hushed conversations with someone on the other end of the line, signs that eluded my naive perception. It was during one such evening, as we sat in the glow of the living room, that the illusions began to unravel. "Mark, I've been offered a promotion at work," Emma announced, a forced smile playing on her lips. I raised an eyebrow, the news catching me off guard. "That's fantastic, love. Congratulations. What's the new role?" Her eyes met mine, a subtle shift in their emerald depths. "I'll be working closely with James. He heads the IT department, you know." The mention of James, a name that had never held significance in our conversations, sent a shiver down my spine. James? Why now? I thought you worked in a completely different department. Emma's gaze wavered, and in that moment, I caught a glimpse of a deception I had never fathomed. "It's a new initiative. They need someone with my skills." Unbeknownst to me, beneath the surface of this seemingly innocuous dialogue, an intricate web of lies was being spun. The illusions grew more elaborate as Emma orchestrated a charade that would ultimately cast shadows over the foundations of our relationship. As the night unfolded, I remained blissfully unaware, Emma's illusions cloaking her clandestine motives. In the quiet of our home, the rocking chair continued its rhythmic creaking, echoing the unraveling illusions that lingered just beyond my perception. In the heart of Crestwood, the illusion of tranquility clung to our lives like a comforting veil. Unbeknownst to me, within the shadows of our seemingly ordinary existence, a tempest named Emma brewed, deceptive and unpredictable. As days turned into nights, Emma's late-night phone calls and mysterious rendezvous with James became more pronounced. The air in our home, once saturated with the scent of pine, now carried an undercurrent of tension. It was during one evening, as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows across our porch, that the illusion of our tranquility began to fracture. "Mark, dear," Emma began, her voice tinged with a sweetness that betrayed the turmoil within. "I've been thinking about us, about our future." I leaned forward, curiosity etched across my face. "What's on your mind, Emma?" She took a moment, her emerald eyes flickering with a hidden agenda. "I believe it's time for a change, a fresh start. Don't you think?" Little did I know, beneath the surface of her seemingly innocent words, lay the foundation of an elaborate illusion that would soon unravel the fabric of our lives. Weeks passed, and the illusions intensified. One evening, as the aroma of a home-cooked meal filled our kitchen, I broached the subject that had begun to gnaw at my soul. "Emma, who is James to you? Why the sudden closeness?" I asked, my gaze piercing through the facade she had erected. She feigned surprise, a practiced innocence playing on her features. "James? He's just a colleague, Mark. We're working on a project together. That's all." The tension in the room escalated, the air thick with unspoken truths. "Emma, I can sense something more. Don't you trust me enough to be honest?" Her eyes flickered, and in that moment, the illusion wavered. "Mark, trust is the foundation of any relationship. But sometimes change is inevitable." Little did I anticipate the gravity of those words, a revelation that would shatter the illusions I had unwittingly embraced. As the night wore on, I grappled with the dissonance between the illusions and the reality I refused to accept. The rocking chair on our porch creaked in harmony with the turmoil within, a discordant melody that foretold the impending upheaval. The deceptive tranquility of Crestwood, once a refuge, now mirrored the storm within our home, a storm fueled by illusions and secrets that threatened to consume the fragile peace I had come to cherish. As the deceptive tranquility of Crestwood veiled the storm within, I found myself at the precipice of a revelation that would transform our lives and lay bare the intricate art of retribution. The illusions that had shrouded Emma's actions began to unravel, unveiling a carefully crafted plan that would redefine the narrative of our existence. One fateful evening, amidst the shadows that clung to our porch, Emma's emerald eyes met mine. "Mark, darling, I have a surprise for you," she whispered, her voice carrying a disconcerting sweetness. I eyed her cautiously, the air thick with unspoken tensions. "A surprise? What's going on, Emma?" A mysterious smile played on her lips as she handed me a letter. "Open it, Mark. It's a gesture of love, a token of the changes to come." The letter, adorned with eloquent prose, unfolded the depths of her betrayal. A clandestine affair with James, a plan to frame me for a $20 million theft, and a web of deceit that left me paralyzed with disbelief. The illusions shattered, revealing a truth more intricate than any digital labyrinth I had navigated. "Emma, how could you?" I gasped, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. She feigned innocence, her eyes pools of feigned regret. "Mark, sometimes we have to make choices for our own happiness. You were never meant to be a part of this plan." The revelation echoed like a distant thunder, reverberating through the corridors of our home. As the night unfolded, the art of retribution became a canvas painted with meticulous strokes. A plan was set in motion, a dance of shadows that would cast Emma and her co-conspirator, now named Michael, into a labyrinth of their own making. In the quiet hours that followed, I retreated to the shadows of my computer room. The tapping of keys became a rhythmic cadence, a symphony of revenge composed in silence. Dialogues between accomplices were intercepted, plans laid bare, and the intricate web of deception meticulously unraveled. Days turned into nights, and the illusion of normalcy persisted. "Mark, dear, I've arranged a weekend getaway," Emma declared, her gaze calculated. I feigned enthusiasm, playing my part in the orchestrated illusion. That sounds wonderful, Emma. A weekend getaway would be perfect. Little did she know that every word, every action, was a note in the symphony of retribution I was orchestrating. As the shadows lengthened, the plan unfolded. A $20 million theft from Emma's workplace, a betrayal unveiled, and a trail of breadcrumbs leading to the illusion of my culpability. The art of retribution, a masterpiece painted in the dark recesses of my computer room, awaited its grand unveiling. In the quietude of Crestwood, the storm within mirrored the tempest I had unleashed. The art of retribution, a dance of shadows and deception, beckoned the characters in this unfolding drama toward a destiny shaped by the choices they had made. Crestwood, draped in the cloak of an unsuspecting night, bore witness to the unraveling of illusions. The stage was set, and the characters played their parts in a drama where betrayal took center stage, and the truth lurked in the shadows, waiting to be unveiled. One evening, as Emma and I prepared for our supposed weekend getaway, the tension in the air was palpable. The illusions she had woven tightened around us like a noose, the weight of deceit threatening to choke the life out of our once tranquil existence. "Mark, darling, have you packed everything?" Emma's voice, laced with a semblance of normalcy, betrayed the storm within. I nodded, my gaze fixed on her, searching for any signs of guilt. "All set, Emma, ready when you are." As we embarked on the charade of a weekend retreat, the shadows whispered the truth. The plan, meticulously laid out, awaited its grand unveiling. The illusion of our shared journey belied the rift that had formed, a crevice carved by lies and deceit. In the quiet hours of our getaway, Emma's phone buzzed with messages that hinted at the impending storm. "James, we need to be careful. The money should be transferred without a trace," she whispered, the weight of her words hanging in the air like a sinister melody. I, too, played my part, feigning ignorance. "Emma, who are you talking to? Is something wrong?" She flashed a reassuring smile, concealing the guilt that simmered beneath. "Just work, Mark. Nothing for you to worry about." Little did she know that every word, every furtive glance, was a brushstroke on the canvas of retribution. As the night wore on, the illusion of our romantic escape crumbled, giving way to the reality of a carefully choreographed betrayal. In the early hours of the morning, a knock echoed through our quaint getaway cabin. Emma's eyes widened, a hint of panic surfacing. Who could that be at this hour? I'd opened the door to find two stern-faced individuals, a detective named Reynolds and an agent named Mitchell. "Mr. Turner, Mrs. Turner, may we come in?" Detective Reynolds asked, his tone carrying an air of authority. Confusion etched across Emma's face, a masterful display of the innocence she sought to preserve. "What's this about, officers?" As they entered, their gaze shifted to me. "Mr. Turner, we have reason to believe you're involved in a $20 million theft from your wife's workplace," Agent Mitchell stated, his words hanging in the air like an ominous verdict. Emma feigned disbelief, her eyes wide with innocence. "Mark, is this true?" I, too, wore a mask of surprise, concealing the storm within. "What? This has to be a mistake." The illusion of normalcy shattered, revealing the intricate dance of deception that had unfolded. In the quiet cabin, shadows whispered the betrayal that had now been unveiled. The characters, entangled in a web of their own making, stood at the precipice of a truth that would reshape their destinies. As dawn painted the skies in hues of lavender and gold, Crestwood emerged from the shadows of the night, a witness to the aftermath of revelations and the birth of a new reality. The air in our small town carried the weight of secrets, and the characters in this unfolding drama faced the consequences of choices made in the crucible of betrayal. In the heart of Crestwood, the whispers of the previous night's storm echoed through the town square. Emma and I, now cast into the spotlight of suspicion, navigated the curious gazes of our neighbors. "Mark, what happened? Is it true?" Mrs. Patterson, our next-door neighbor, inquired, her eyes filled with concern. I glanced at Emma, our shared secret now laid bare. "Mrs. Patterson, we're as shocked as you are. We're trying to figure things out ourselves." Emma nodded in agreement, her eyes mirroring a convincing facade of innocence. "It's a misunderstanding. We'll get it sorted out." As we made our way through Crestwood's winding streets, the illusion of normalcy clung to us like a desperate lifeline. The hushed whispers of gossip followed us, and the characters in this small-town drama found themselves entangled in the threads of our unraveling lives. Amidst the gossip and pointed stares, a familiar face emerged. James, the architect of our shared betrayal. He approached with a practiced smile, his eyes betraying a hint of nervousness. "Mark, Emma, what's going on? I heard the police were involved." I squared my shoulders, a thin veneer of composure masking the storm within. "James, you seem to know more than we do. Care to enlighten us?" His gaze flickered, and for a moment, the illusion of control wavered. "I honestly don't know what they're talking about. Maybe it's a mistake." Little did he know that the web of deception he had helped weave was now unraveling at its seams. As we reached the town square, the pillars of Crestwood bore witness to the unraveling of our lives. Detective Reynolds and Agent Mitchell awaited us, their expressions stoic as they ushered us into the police station. "Mr. and Mrs. Turner, we'll need you to answer a few questions," Detective Reynolds stated, his gaze penetrating. In the interrogation room, the dance of words began, a ballet of accusations, denials, and the uneasy tension of concealed truths. "Mark, Emma, the evidence suggests a well-planned scheme. We need to understand your involvement." Agent Mitchell probed, his tone unwavering. Emma feigned innocence, her eyes pools of feigned vulnerability. Agent Mitchell, Detective Reynolds, we're victims in all of this. We don't know how our names got dragged into such a mess. I, too, played my part, the illusion of ignorance a mask for the retribution that had been meticulously set in motion. We need to get to the bottom of this. We've been framed, and we're just as eager to find out who's behind it. The interrogation room became a stage, the characters performing their roles in the unfolding drama. Crestwood, once a haven of tranquility, now bore witness to a new dawn, a dawn colored by the revelations that had shattered the illusions of its unsuspecting residents. In the wake of the tumultuous night, Crestwood found itself ensnared in the shadows of the past. The air was thick with suspicion, and the characters in this unfolding drama grappled with the consequences of secrets laid bare. As the day unfolded, a new chapter began, one that would delve into the labyrinth of our shared history. Emma and I, now marred by the stain of accusations, faced the scrutiny of the town. The whispers lingered, gossip echoing through the streets like a haunting refrain. In the town square, Mrs. Patterson's concerned gaze followed us. "Mark, Emma, are you okay? What's happening?" I offered a tight smile, concealing the turmoil within. "Mrs. Patterson, it's a misunderstanding. We're trying to figure things out." Emma nodded, her eyes reflecting a blend of vulnerability and resolve. "We appreciate your concern. We'll get through this." As we continued through Crestwood's quaint streets, a familiar face emerged. James, the orchestrator of our shared betrayal. His approach carried an air of feigned concern. "Mark, Emma, this is insane. What's happening? How did we get dragged into this mess?" I met his gaze, a silent acknowledgement of the shared guilt that bound us. "James, if you're as clueless as we are, then we need to find out who's behind all of this." His eyes flickered, a subtle admission of complicity. "Agreed. We need to get to the bottom of it." Little did he realize that the shadows of the past, once confined to the realms of our secrets, were now cast into the stark light of reality. At the police station, Detective Reynolds and Agent Mitchell awaited us with stern expressions. The interrogation room became a crucible of words, a battleground where accusations clashed with denials, and the characters in this drama danced on the precipice of truth and deception. "Mr. and Mrs. Turner, the evidence suggests a calculated plan. We need clarity on your involvement." Agent Mitchell probed, his gaze unyielding. Emma, her composure a facade for the storm within, pleaded innocence. "Agent Mitchell, Detective Reynolds, we are as shocked as you are. We want to cooperate, but we're victims in all of this." I, too, played my part, the illusion of ignorance masking the intricate dance of retribution set in motion. "We need answers just as much as you do. We've been framed, and we intend to find out who's responsible." As the shadows of the past unfurled within the cold confines of the interrogation room, Crestwood stood witness to the unraveling of lives intricately intertwined with a history veiled in secrets. The characters, entangled in a web of their own making, teetered on the precipice of a truth that would reshape their destinies. In the quiet aftermath of the storm, Crestwood became a canvas painted with the echoes of revelations and the weight of choices made. As the day unfolded, the town grappled with the fallout of a night that had unraveled the tapestry of our shared existence. In the shadows of suspicion, a chapter concluded, and a new one began, the chapter of a phantom's reflection. Amidst the curious gazes and hushed whispers, Emma and I moved through Crestwood like specters haunted by the accusations that clung to us. Mrs. Patterson's concern lingered in the air, a silent reminder of the community we were now estranged from. "Mark, Emma, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask," she offered, her eyes a mix of sympathy and uncertainty. I nodded appreciatively, the weight of the accusations etched across my face. "Thank you, Mrs. Patterson. We'll try to clear things up." As we traversed the town square, James appeared again, a silent accomplice in the shadows. "Mark, Emma, we can't let this destroy us. We need to find out who did this and clear our names," he urged, his eyes revealing a flicker of desperation. Emma, her gaze steady, nodded in agreement. "James is right. We can't let this tear us apart. We need to uncover the truth." Little did they know that the truth, a elusive phantom, had left its mark on the fabric of our existence. Back at the police station, Detective Reynolds and Agent Mitchell awaited us for another round of questioning. The interrogation room, once a battleground of words, now became a space for reflection, a canvas where the characters confronted the phantom that lurked in the recesses of their shared history. "Mr. and Mrs. Turner, we've cross-referenced the evidence, and it's leading to dead ends," Detective Reynolds admitted, a sense of frustration in his voice. "We need your cooperation to get to the bottom of this." I exchanged a glance with Emma, a silent acknowledgement of the precarious situation we found ourselves in. "Detective Reynolds, Agent Mitchell, we're willing to cooperate. We want to clear our names as much as you want to solve this." The questions continued, probing the intricacies of our lives, the relationships, and the shadows that concealed the truth. Emma, her composure unwavering, responded with a calm determination. "We need to find out who orchestrated this and why. We're just as much victims in all of this as anyone else." As the interrogation unfolded, a phantom's reflection emerged, a reflection of choices, betrayals, and the intricate dance of deception that had shaped our lives. The characters, entangled in the web of their own making, stood at the crossroads of redemption and retribution. Crestwood, a backdrop to the drama that had unfolded, awaited the resolution of its characters' destinies. The phantom's reflection lingered, a reminder of the choices made, the illusions shattered, and the truth waiting to be unveiled in the chapters that lay ahead. Thanks to everyone who took the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share your thoughts on the events in the comments below. Take care.